Hi folks, and welcome back to the vlog. This week we have the massive Jamel Akib in the house. Hi Jamel.
Hi there.
Great to have you here.
Thank you
Jamel's
for
going to
asking
give us
me.
his 3 pro tips on the things he wished he knew when he started out. So with no further ado, let's get straight onto it. The first one I see is called speed, or at least that's the punch word to it. Talk me through that one.
Well, speed was I've always worked quickly, but I've always felt like I should be working for longer, and you feel like you're kind of cheating a bit when you do something in an hour and then you charge a massive amount of money for it. but that's just the nature of the way you paint, and yeah. Fast painters shouldn't feel bad about that. When I left college, I shared a studio with my brother, who's also a painter, amazing painter. Yeah. And at either end, my end was just covered in paint and dust and crap. And his end, he'd worn down the floorboards where he sat, because he sat for so long, working diligently every day. And I used to think, I should have worn floorboards, because I'm dedicated like that, but I never did. But you just have to embrace it. And if you're a fast painter, it's not all going to be great, and it helps you get through funks as well. When you're painting and you get a block, yeah. Just throw down paint and then go on to the next one.
That's interesting, because when I read a book called The Artist's Way, which is how to unblock yourself. Some of these big guys have done it, and one of the things they ask you to do each day is morning pages, where you sit down and you just write. And if you can't write, you can't think of anything to write. Yeah. You just think, I can't think of anything to write. I can't think of anything to write. But you just keep writing. And it's that process of just getting it out that actually opens you up. And I guess that's what you're saying, isn't it? It's the same. Just
the same, yeah. If I'm really blocked, I'll throw down color. I'll make an abstract background. Then you've got no pressure on making anything look like anything. That abstract background then becomes the base for something for you to do on top. But just covering over a white space or a white canvas can help.
Well, the thing is, we are all different, and this is the point. I mean, somebody came into my gallery recently and said, "Oh, I like that painting. How long did it take the artist to paint?" And I say, "Well, about 30 years, because that's how long it takes to get the skills to be able to paint quickly."
Yeah, yeah. Picasso said that, didn't he?
And it is so important that people understand paint. Some people will sit down, will paint for months on end one painting till it's right. And I have artists like yourself who just go at stuff until they get, and they might get a few, as I call them, B-sides. Yeah. But you're going to get a whole lot of A-sides in there. Well, that's great. That's a really nice start to this one. Now you've got agents and galleries. What's the point you want to make on that?
Well, recently I had a gallery that sold quite a lot of paintings, but they said, I'm not going to mention the gallery. They were going to turn the painting into cushions, and but you own the copyright to the artwork.
Of course not.
And yeah, they can buy the artwork, but you always own the copyright.
Yeah.
And I pushed that, and I didn't get backup from the gallery.
Oh.
But I suppose you're going to find that you're going to get good galleries and bad galleries. Ever since I was a student, I had an agent, even when I was at art college, and that's I feel like the Harbour Gallery. I feel totally comfortable that you never pressure me to working a certain way or by a certain time to have this in or that in. I did a Kingfisher for you. It took me bloody ages, didn't it?
Yeah.
But I feel totally comfortable with the Harbour Gallery. And I think it's important for you to get a gallery that you feel comfortable with, that isn't going to just take advantage of you.
I think that's, again, in my book, when I talked about this last week, about asking the right questions up front. by doing that, not only will you get the answers you need, for example, how often do you pay? How often do you report when something's sold? All these kind of questions. You look professional when you ask these questions. But more importantly than that, when you get the answers, you get a feeling about how this gallery is, how open they are to the way they work and everything else. And if you find them very cloggy and very difficult to work with and not forthcoming with answers at the very beginning, that will probably tell you a lot about the road you're about to go down with them.
Yeah, the problem is, I suppose, when you first start, you want validation. So this gallery that has said, oh, we'll represent you and put your pictures on the wall, you don't have to pay us anything. You're kind of you pressure yourself into just accepting anything when you shouldn't. But also your book's important, because you don't know what's normal. You think, oh, right, everyone must sell their rights. If you sell your book, if you sell your painting, you do sell away the rights to make cushions, but you don't. No. I think information is key, really.
Yeah, funnily enough, I do put on the certificate of provenance, I said that always at the bottom, copyright retains with the artists. And I had one person who bought a painting up in Scotland, actually, who came back to me and said, hold on a minute, how can this be true? I bought the painting. And I said, well, look, let's put it this way. If you were a manufacturer of Cadbury's and you wanted to put a nice painting on the tin, and you bought a painting for 200 quid from the artist, do you think it's really fair that you stick that on a tin of chocolates that sells millions of copies all over the world and the artist doesn't get anything back on it? Do you think that's really fair? And then he got it, you know.
Yeah.
So great tip, really nice. I like that one a lot. Last one I want to jump onto you is breaking out of your bubble. Yeah, talk me through that one.
That's just that I use this in teaching a lot, to get people to look at inspiration from different sources, not just from these tiny little genre that you're working in. So if you're a landscape painter, you just look at landscape paintings. Right. I feel from a teaching point of view and from my own point of view, it helps you grow when you look at, because Michelle's an ex-dancer, I look at a lot of contemporary dance, which gets me into the movement thing, which I like in my work, and the figurative thing. So I look at a lot of contemporary dance, but also mural artists I look at, because they have a different way of shifting the plane, the picture plane, so things sit on a wall. I watched a film maybe a couple of weeks ago called The Dig, and it was set in Norfolk. A beautiful cinematography, big skies, and a tiny little bit of land in the compositions, and that's influenced me in the landscapes I've been doing lately.
Okay, great.
And I didn't know that would happen. Yeah, an artist called Wendelin Vogelmuth. Okay. Didn't help with the pronunciation, but he paints on photographs, or he paints from old photographs, and he gets a really nice sense of memory about them, which I like as well. So lots and lots of different cherry picking from different genres come together to make something unique that you have.
And so what you're saying is basically play around with things. Don't just stay in the format you're in. Try and look for other inspirations to add more depth to the work that you're doing.
Yeah, get that melting pot going, and then it will just come out. You'll be a big filter for all of this stuff that will be original artwork when it goes onto the canvas. That's the plan.
Fantastic. Jamel, you're a star. Really, really great tips. Thanks so much. Folks, I'm going to leave you with a little run through of some of Jamel's work, which is just breathtaking, believe me. Thanks so much for joining us this week. Say bye to Jamel.